Thanks for joining us for this edition of National Focus. I'm Tasia Floissac. Coming up, the Prime Minister Honorable Melville Skerrit announces a proactive move in light of the Ebola outbreak. Melville Hall Airport to be renamed the Douglas Charles Airport, and up to 90 residents of the Salybia Constituency are now employed under the NAP. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories after this.
A lot of bathtubs are blamed for bruises. Some staircases are accused of being responsible for broken bones. Doors are occasionally viewed suspiciously as causing lesions. A high percentage of tables are accused of producing bleeding or trauma. Violence against women is a crime, and it's everyone's responsibility. It's inexcusable. If you're a victim or witness of physical or psychological violence or abuse, seek help and denounce the perpetrator.
Thanks for staying with us.
Yesterday evening, I requested the file pertaining to the country's continuous monitoring of the impact of the Ebola virus, which is now present around the globe, and particularly in West Africa. Clearly, the world is once again under threat. But I'm confident that just as we grappled with and overcame similar threats, such as HIV/AIDS and SARS in recent years, so too will scientists and health authorities around the world successfully contain and hopefully eventually eradicate the threat of this real danger to humanity. As citizens of the world, each of us has to play our part in the process. These are early days yet, but precaution is absolutely necessary.
This is how the nation's leader, Honorable Melville Skerrit, began a press conference on Thursday announcing a proactive and forward-thinking move to strike Nigerian artist Flavour from the lineup of the 18th edition of the World Creole Music Festival. In his statement, the Prime Minister explained the thinking behind the decision, revealing that other acts were also considered in relation to national health and safety.
Forward planning is also fraught with risk. To select and confirm entertainers, you have to enter into negotiations and agree on contracts that are legally binding. The reversal or unlocking of the same is normally a matter for legal operatives. However, the Prime Minister, as chief lawmaker, is charged with the wider responsibility of acting first and always in the nation's interest. This year's lineup of contracted performing artists at the World Creole Music Festival includes the band called Flavour from Nigeria, for a total party of 4 traveling from Nigeria to Dominica. There is also a second band comprised of persons of African origin, but who are based outside of Africa. Indeed, its 8 members are booked to travel from Paris, Montreal, and New York. I am also informed that members of this band, Suku's Stars, have not traveled within recent times to regions severely impacted by the Ebola virus. Given the heightened nature of screening in their countries of residence, they can be characterized as low risk in the context of the emerging global threat of Ebola. That group, therefore, is not of special concern to me or my government in the context of the Ebola threat at this time. However, even though, like all other pandemics, no one can ever be sure who has been exposed to or fallen victim to Ebola, information and awareness must be factored into all considerations.
Action is still being taken behind the scenes to minimize the legal implications of the move.
I have reviewed the file with respect to the contractual arrangements entered into with the Flavour Band out of Nigeria. To date, a total of $147,000 has been expended on professional fees and international travel by this group. This is a lot of money. but in my view, it pales into insignificance when matched against the consequences of exposing the people of this region to the risk of the Ebola virus. I would like to think that reason and common sense can and will prevail. But I readily acknowledge that the law is the law, and contracts negotiated can, at best, be renegotiated. Accordingly, purely out of an abundance of caution, I have today instructed the organizers of the 18th Annual World Carol Music Festival to meet with officials of the relevant legal departments of government to determine among themselves how the matter of a renegotiation of the flavor contract can be entered into.
Honorable Skerrit stated that while he anticipates national discussion on what he is certain is the best move at this time, he nevertheless hopes that talk will be relevant and in the best interest of the people of this island. At the same event, the Honorable Prime Minister announced a move to celebrate Dominican excellence. The contributions of the late Roosevelt Douglas and Pierre Charles will be immortalized when the Melville Hall Airport is renamed.
2 weeks ago, I made a presentation to the Cabinet of Ministers in which it was recommended that we use the single largest manifestation of progress and modernity in Dominica over the past 10 years as a fitting and lasting tribute to the contribution of late Prime Ministers Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles to Dominica. I refer to none other than the reconstruction and expansion of the Melville Hall Airport and the introduction of night landing in Dominica. In my estimation, these improvements represent the largest leap forward in our development as a nation over the past 15 years. I am therefore pleased to announce that at its regular meeting of Tuesday, October 7, 2014, the Cabinet of Ministers ratified its earlier decision to have the Melville Airport formally renamed the Douglas Charles Airport, as a tribute to and in honor of late Prime Ministers Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles.
The Prime Minister considers this move illustration of Dominica looking inward for its heroes.
I wish to highlight the role and the demise of two former leaders who, history will show, made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of this nation. Former Prime Ministers, the late Rosie Douglas and the late Pierre Charles, died in office in the service of this country. They died at a point when each was battling with the task of transforming the economy of Dominica in the throes of the worst economic recession in nearly 100 years. I said on the occasion of the untimely passing of each of them that the efforts should never be minimized or forgotten. We are a grateful nation. And even though schools in their respective former constituencies have been named in their honor, the government has always been in search of something more viable and more visible and readily evident to residents and visitors alike.
The general public is therefore invited to a celebration and official renaming ceremony which will take place on October 27th. GIS News will bring you more details on those arrangements as they become available. On Thursday of that same week, October 30th, the new highway to Melville Hall Airport will be formally named and opened.
This too represents a giant step forward in the ongoing development of Dominica. A ceremony for the official opening of that highway will be held on Thursday, 30th October. Again, details of this event will be made public by the relevant committee charged with its coordination. Suffice to say that Monday, October 27th and Thursday, October 30th are dates that all Dominicans should commit to the diaries as days with events of national importance.
According to the nation's leader, the new highway will be named after a national hero who will be revealed at a later date. Dominica's head of state, His Excellency the President Charles A. Savre, was visited by two special guests on Wednesday, one from Asia and the other from Europe. Two ambassadors presented their credentials to the president at the State House. First, His Excellency Oh Hang-gu of the Republic of Korea.
I firmly believe that bilateral relations between our countries are based on deep mutual understanding and trust. With this, we pursue mutual benefit. I am convinced that we have continuously and steadily developed our mutual understanding and trust for the 36 years of history of our diplomatic relations, and will further develop in the years to come. The Korean government cherished our relationship, and I would like to avail this opportunity to sincerely thank your government for the support given to Korea at the international arena.
The ambassador pledged to strengthen ties between the two countries and explore more opportunities for mutual benefit by promoting the exchange of culture. Dominica's president, in response, described the 35-year relationship as fruitful and cordial.
The government of Dominica has received a number of donations of materials and equipment from the government of South Korea under the annual economic assistance program, including donations of medical equipment to the Ministry of Health for distribution to medical institutions, the provision of $100,000 US as humanitarian assistance to the people of Layu and the Roseau Valley, respectively, following the flash flooding in 2011, and the provision of 3 protocol vehicles as grant aid for the year 2013. Previously, Dominica has received ambulances, a fire truck, vehicles for the Dominica Police Force, State Prison Services, Government Information Service, and Foreign Affairs, computer equipment and other office supplies to government departments, as well as training opportunities and short courses designed to enhance bilateral relations between South Korea and Caribbean countries.
The Republic of Korea has also come on board as a partner with CARICOM with the signing of a consultation and cooperation agreement in 2006. That mechanism specified ICT as a cooperation area. The Commonwealth of Dominica and the Republic of Korea formalized bilateral relations in 1978, 1 year after Dominica's independence. New ambassador from the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Dr. Luce also presented his credentials to Dominica's president, His Excellency Charles A. Savre. The president shed light on the areas of cooperation between Germany and Dominica.
Dominica has benefited from assistance offered by your government through the Small Grants Scheme, which is geared at improving the social and economic situation of underprivileged population groups, which require small grants to initiate self-help projects, and from scholarships offered through the German Academic Exchange Service, available for graduate and postgraduate studies. It is hoped that in a not-too-distant future, some of these courses will be offered in English to allow Dominica and member states of the OECS to take fullest advantage of these worthwhile opportunities. Your Excellency, I also wish to make mention of the initiative taken by your government last year to invest 4 million euros in a conservation network to make the coastal regions of Dominica and 5 other countries in the Eastern Caribbean more resilient to the effects of climate change.
In his remarks to the President and the nation, Ambassador Gorgens discussed the importance of partnering.
Neither Germany nor the Commonwealth of Dominica can master the challenges of globalization alone. Regional cooperation within regions and between regions is a powerful tool to turn these challenges into opportunities. All countries of the Caribbean are both affected by climate change and involved in international efforts to limit its damages. The recent meeting of small developing island states in Samoa and the current session of the United Nations General Assembly have highlighted the urgency of international action. Germany is determined to continue our cooperation with Dominica towards sustainable development even beyond the Millennium Goals.
Germany is known for its support of CARICOM's small island developing states. For the 2018 programming period, the German government lent support in areas of climate change, renewable energy and energy efficiency, natural resource management and biodiversity. The Honorable Prime Minister Melville Skerrit has confirmed that $250,000 will be spent on the rehabilitation of roads in the Globe area. The Dominica leader made the announcement as he addressed Monday's launch of the Bells water supply project.
I have given instructions to the Ministry of Public Works that we need to spend about $250,000 on the Globe wet area road. We started something, but we need to continue because there are sections that are bad. I have given instructions to the Permanent Secretary that that project should commence. We intend to use two contractors, local contractors here in Bells to effect the works for us. So we're hoping that we can start very soon.
The Honorable Prime Minister says this is a clear indication of the commitment of the DLP administration to improve living conditions of the residents of Bells and surrounding communities.
And I do not have to tell the people of Bells what they have to do, when they have to do what they have to do. I mean, Andy is here, and he has been around for a long time. You know, Labour used to get about 15 votes if we were lucky, back in the 80s and so forth. But the people of Bells have recognized that this party loves them, this party cares for them, and this party has demonstrated its commitment to the people of Bells and so on.
Up to 90 residents in the Salybia Constituency will be gainfully employed under the National Employment Program as part of the Community Development Program. A number of these people signed their contracts on Thursday at the Salybia Resource Center. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Employment, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, Karin Privot, says this new expansion of the NEP will take a holistic approach in the Salybia constituency.
Under the directive of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, we have moved to expand this program to a community employment program. And under the community employment program, what we are doing is engaging individuals within the community who are unemployed, and we are empowering them in various areas in the rural community to be engaged in a number of activities that can assist in developing the community while getting an income for yourself. So some of the programs that we have started under the community employment program, we have a cleanup and beautification program that we've been running around the island. And under the cleanup and beautification program, the ministry has been providing tools and equipment and payment of stipends for individuals to beautify and clean the surroundings. Some of you will be engaged in the schools under the school feeding program. Some people may be engaged to assist with cleaning with some of the schools as well. We also will be engaging some of the university graduates, adding to the university graduates that we already have on the program, but we will be increasing the quota that we have here for our university graduates. So this is a very wholesome program. It is not just, we are not just giving people money all over the place. We are empowering you. We are engaging you to involve yourself in a wholesome activity. And also, I think the critical thing about this community employment program is that it is also a community development program. It is so wide. We look at tourism, we are looking at agriculture, we are looking at education, we are looking at cleaning and beautification. So it's a holistic approach to community development.
Honorable Minister for Carib Affairs, Ashton Grano, says that those employed under the program should make good use of the opportunity.
We are not sending you to Castlebrus, we are not sending you to Marigot, we are not sending you to Roseau. You don't have one bus fare to pay to go anywhere. So you can cook your food here and eat you don't have to buy a meal in Roseau or anywhere else. So here's what we are saying. We are creating jobs for you right in your place. So the money that you earn, you can utilize it wisely.
One of the university graduates in that constituency is proud of the work being done in this constituency.
I think the National Employment Program is a wonderful initiative by the government. It has been empowering young people like myself to put their skills into practice.
The ministry also gifted the Ministry of Caribbean Affairs with tools towards the beautification project and to farmers in that constituency. And that's the English news. McPherson set Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson Saint-Louis. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique a travaillé faire toute communauté de l'eau par l'année 2015. Parole celle-là, sortie officier relations publiques de Wasco Edward Regis. Plusieurs projets de l'eau lancés en temps qui passé, Yondio, c'est Union Estate La Pointe.
La semaine passée, nous avons lancé un projet pour nous amener de l'eau en place en La Pointe, qui est Union Estate. Avec ça, sur place, là, il y a bâti caille, il y a fait manière pour ça grandi village La Pointe. Avec, et pas pour dire la partie de l'eau, là, déjà de l'eau, mais il y a fait manière pour ça ranger le système de l'eau, pour ça taper de l'eau à primaire. Avec ça, nous avons fait, nous avons bâti un plus gros tank. Ça, il y a à présent, il y a pour tuer de l'eau à La Pointe. Il y a 15 000 gallons de l'eau. Nous avons bâti un lot, il y a 30 000 gallons de l'eau pour faire cette qui La Pointe, c'est avec toute petite commune tout La Pointe, qui est toujours de l'eau, avec un meilleur système de l'eau pour tuer La Pointe. Ça nous signe un agrément, un contrat avec une compagnie qui est FNC Construction, qui prend 4 pour 5 mois pour bâtir tank là, avec pour faire toutes ces difformités, lier pipe, avec tout butin. Avec ça, le projet a fini. Nous avons pensé que nous avons La Pointe avec Union Estate qui est un premier système d'eau. Le projet ça a coûté 700 000 $. Avec ça, c'est un gros projet même, avec le gouvernement pour tuer l'argent.
En notre nouvelle promotion pour le Festival Créole Mondial continue en pays Caraïbes. Promotion aussi prend place en Trinidad, et spécialement pour présenter le pays en destination. Chef DFC Colin Piper et officier Leroy Wadix Charles étaient en charge de cette promotion-là.
Normalement, ça nous fait, c'est pour promouvoir destination. Était moi avec M. Piper. M. Piper, c'est chef touriste ici et puis chef festival là aussi. Et ça nous vraiment fait peuple à Trinidad connaître. C'est Dominique, c'est une place qui est en sigré. Et un sigré spécial, un sigré qui est naturel. Et pas seulement nous avons un spécial challenge, ça c'est Nature Island Challenge. Et ça c'est un but pour tout le monde, nous avons invité tout le monde tout partout du monde pour descendre, pour découvrir Dominique. Et nous avons fait différents pas utiliser ça. Et nous avons bien recevoir ça. Et à part de ça, nous avons peuple la liste 3 festival là. Nous disons quand manifestation nous l'année là, ça programme là, tous ces orchestres là qui ont joué. Et ils étaient très contents. Ils ont dit, eh ben, si c'est ça qui a fait à Dominique, ils ont pile, ils ont été intéressés de descendre. Et ce n'est pas seulement pour l'année là, ça nous fait promotion là, ça, parce que c'est une raison pour nous revisiter Trinidad, parce que Trinidad, il y a pile monde. Et le mouvement là-bas, c'est un mouvement qui a dit, nous, eh ben, ouais, nous besoin passer Trinidad en pile, parce que l'année passée, nous faisons un survey. Et survey là, qui a dit, nous, eh ben, Trinidad, c'est en place, nous supposons visiter. Et ça, c'est pourquoi nous sommes allés là. Et c'était très bon. Un pile monde est venu, un pile journaliste est passé, un pile média est là. Différents monde à différents niveaux, à la business touriste est invité. Nous sommes sur télévision 3 fois parce qu'il y a un spécial journal les matins qui live. Et nous passons à ça 3 fois. So, nous sommes bien excités à côté ça.
En la nouvelle, le ministre de la Santé a mis toute mise en place pour adresser la situation Ebola. Il y a une conférence média chaîne mercredi où l'officier santé discute de manière de agir pour cette situation-là, où il y a draft un plan pour ça. Si le permanent secrétaire ministre de la Santé, Helen Rouye, a fait screening moun qui peut affecter les rentrées pays, l'occasion d'isolation moun et puis entraînement officier déjà en place. et des gouvernements déjà mis un budget en place pour deal et puis situation là si en tous les cas. En même temps aussi, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Charlotte Jeremy Coffey fait parole qui a déjà joint et puis officier université pour et puis trainement travailler agence voyage, trainement pour nurse et puis docteur, tout ça déjà pour place, mettez en ordre, deal et puis situation. Et des trainements aussi pour place pour officier DFC, ça c'est Dominica Festival Committee, docteur et puis nurse privé. Et aussi une information vidéo en l'occasion pour payant quand il y a moun danger maladie là. Dr. Jeremy dit tout Health District en pays là déjà tapé data Ebola. Une hotline aussi établi 448 D51 448 D51. Maladie Ebola déjà tué plus que 3000 moun en Afrique. En même temps aussi, Premier Ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit pendant la conférence média aujourd'hui, fait parole que le gouvernement prend décision pour arrêter ban flavor pour performer un festival créole. Et le gouvernement qui prend toute bagaille en considération, c'est l'outbreak maladie Ebola qui a détruit l'Afrique à présent. Le Premier Ministre a dit qu'il y a tout espoir que le spectacle, même si la situation c'est là, qu'il y a un succès. Le Premier Ministre Skerrit aussi annoncé que décision prend pour nommer basse avion Melville Hall après ancien Premier Ministre Rosie Douglas et puis Pierre Charles contre Douglas Charles Airport. Chemin pour casser pour Melville Hall qui est aussi nommé après un Dominicain qui travaille bien formidable. Premier Ministre Skerrit dit plus de détails à ces développements salam qui finit après. Et puis finalement, division culture organisée semaine histoire pour mettre attention à ce héritage Kalinago. Parole là sont des officiers culture Gregory Rabes.
Donc, organiser semaine l'histoire pour monde Dominique vivre comprendre différents aspects de l'histoire nous. L'année passée par exemple, nous avons regardé coup de main, l'histoire coup de main, qui est l'importance coup de main. L'année là ça, semaine là ça, nous avons regardé qui l'importance l'histoire et puis héritage Kalinago. Ça l'histoire ça là et puis héritage ça là porté pour nous à présent. Par exemple, héritage Kalinago en langage Kalinago, manière qu'on prépare manger, puis qu'on savent comme ça, quoi, et puis tout le main, sauce, et puis tout c'est pas ça, et puis non place, non village, non plan, non poisson, tout ces bitins là ça porté en l'eau dans kilti identité et puis kilti créole nous en Dominique.
Messieurs mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, today's tip complements the ECCB.
The WASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
Saving should not be ad hoc or something you do when you have money left over. Rather, saving should be the first expense deducted from your paycheck. You should be diligent about setting aside money from each paycheck towards your future. Practice depositing in a separate account at least 10% of your gross income and make sure you leave it alone. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Tasia Floissac. Thanks for watching.